Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming today. This is the Claude for Coaches AI workflows to get visible and get clients. I chose that name because I think it's easy for a lot of us when we think about AI as a resource to be able to pump out lots and lots of content more easily, which it is. But if the content isn't on target, if it doesn't reflect your true genius, if it isn't the real you, creating more of it really is going to move the ball down the court in the right way. So we want both. We want to get visible, but we also want to get clients. And that's kind of what this, Claude has been making such leaps and bounds in its ability to reason and store information. And now it can design things. It's just off the charts. It's such a game changer for us as solopreneurs to be able to do market research that used to cost thousands of dollars. And that's my background, way back when doing that kind of a thing. It would cost thousands of dollars and takes weeks upon weeks. And now this kind of information is at our fingertips. It's pretty astonishing. Anyways, let me say a quick hello. I think a number of you already know me, but for those who may be listening to the replay who don't, my name is Kathy Basel. I'm known as the AI Whisperer, and my passion is all about amplifying the work of coaches and healers and the change makers of the world. I want to help you guys get get visible and get clients, but get your good work out into the world because I believe that the world needs today the work that we people, the change makers, the transformational leaders have to share with the world. And so that's my great passion. It's why I do what I do. My career, I started my first 20 years in marketing and then got the calling to become a coach myself. So I was doing energy work and transformational healing work. And so I understand both languages. So I speak the language of messaging and marketing and client attraction and visibility. And yet I also have the gift of understanding what it's like to be a coach, a healer, when you're talking about transformation and you're at a networking and somebody asks what you do, and it's kind of hard to sometimes articulate the nature of the work that you do. AI can help you find the words that you've been seeking and hoping to find for, you know, for many of us for years. So even with my marketing background, when I was doing the coaching work, I found it hard to answer those questions. What is it that people can receive? If they've never experienced energy or if they've never dealt, I see. Hey Sue, if they've never experienced the kind of work like she does with helping people through relationship and divorce, that kind of work can be hard for someone who's in the midst of their pain to understand what the transformation that you bring. So what happened, fast forward then to November of 23, I kept hearing about ChatGPT, and I was resistant to say the least. And finally I broke down. I heard it one too many times, and with my marketing background, dropped my own messaging into ChatGPT. And when I saw how clearly it articulated what I'd been trying to say for so long, it was one of those eureka moments for me where I realized it was a great way to blend my background, my genius there, the messaging, and understanding the marketing psychology. How do we move somebody from that know, like, and trust factor, but getting to the point to where they're ready to work with you? So, anyways, I that's about me is just understanding that I speak both sides of the that. What I'm seeing now is that more and more people now, it's been out long enough with AI that people have tried it and worked with it and getting some good results and maybe not great results. So I see a lot of people getting kind of mediocre outputs and then they spend just as much time revising the output as they did certainly putting it in, but the whole thing is to create something that's actually going to propel you forward. So that's what today's all about. Claude, again, has just completely stolen the show as far as in the world of AI, because of some of its more advanced things. I still, by the way, use both ChatGPT and Claude. I think both of them have their own strengths. And so just know as I'm speaking about one, you can use it on either. And Claude has a certain structure, talking about skills and projects that I'll be referencing that you can also use. I'd be curious to know if you guys could drop in the chat, which ones do you use, or maybe you don't use, or maybe you love one, or maybe not so much the other one. I'd just be kind of curious to know where you are for now. And then hopefully, Katrina. Hey, Daksha. Um, yeah, here comes Gail. Close out. Awesome. I see a bunch of, yeah. So I started out, I was deep, die hard for ChatGPT. And again, I saw all the thought leaders moving to Claude. So I tried it. And then I see as every week they're coming out with newer, stronger and stronger. Hey, Katrina. Um, Capabilities in Claude that are really going to set us forward. On the last webinar, so my last one that I did in, where are we? In May.
Hmm.
Um, um, it was by the end of the thing, Priscilla was on the call and she produced an entire slide deck for a webinar that she was coming up with because she was on Claude and because of the design capabilities. So, anyways, we'll plug into that. Um, and Miss Stacy, if you could mute yourself, unless you got a question, of course, and just people know if you've got a question as we're rolling along, I'd rather address it as we go. So feel free. I want this to be more like a conversation rather than teaching at you. I want to make sure that everyone's getting this because it really can be game changing for you and your business. So I'm going to switch over to sharing my slides. For us visual peoples. And whoop, there's Zoom. All right. And then got windows on top of windows. Well, let's start at the beginning, shall we? All right. I'm trying to keep my chat. And you guys, rather than dropping things in the chat, I'd rather you just unmute and ask your questions, only because I can't focus on both areas. To be talking about all the goodness. So feel free to just chime in when you've got any questions. And the other thing I should look at, keep an eye on the inbox. Okay, so here we are. Claude for Coaches, AI workflows to get visible and get clients. And this is the big takeaway for the day. How can you take one idea and create like almost instantly, it's like magic, and a week's worth of content. So that's what the target is for today. Whoops, here we go. Um, all right, so this is a busy slide, but as I was working through the content here, um, this is what we're going to walk through today is taking your one idea. How do we take that idea and quickly create content that's a reflection of you, good content that's going to walk people through and do so consistently? Have you ever found that you've got your ups and downs? You're creating content, you're in the flow, and then life happens or clients come and all of a sudden the consistency goes away. But in order for our visibility to be effective, consistency is kind of key. And ultimately, what we're after is getting those clients. So, what we're going to share today is what I call the 3A method, a sequence that is important that we make sure that we're doing in order so that we're creating the content that's going to be converting. The second is the exciting part, and the I'll show you the skill that I created that I'll be sharing with you. The personal content engine is what I'm. How would it be if you had a personal genie creating your content for you? So in that, we're teaching Claude who you are. We're starting with one message, and then from this, these are all the different things that you can create. You've got an email, 5 social posts, for different kinds of platforms. Let us know what platforms you're on. One short video, are you doing video? It's so important, especially as transformational people, that people are able to feel our energy. And I think we're just so gifted to have the gift of easy video these days. Can you have work that into your weekly routine of doing one short video each week, addressing something that your client is stuck with or something that might help them move beyond the stuckness? An invitation, like what is it that you're working on? What's your offer? What do you want to invite them to? I've got a philosophy I follow of always be inviting. What's the next party that you're throwing where they can come get a taste of the kind of work that you do? And along with that, the visual, and this is the next area where this stuff is really catapulting. I don't know, for those of you in the world of ChatGPT, it's taken its leapfrog and now it's visuals. Like if you can ask it to create an image or take an image, maybe you've got a photo of yourself that is good but not great, you can upload that into chat and have it make a professional looking headshot of you. Just phenomenal. So I'm going to show you how to make the instructions for that. And then the thing that's going to keep us on schedule is creating a publishing schedule. So with regularity, are you posting every day? Are you posting, are you maybe sending out, like I've got clients who do their newsletters every other week. So creating that publishing schedule so you know exactly each day what's going or going ahead and scheduling it in advance. And then ultimately coming back and checking in with you because energy is everything. Does this really sound like me? And again, ultimately it's one idea in less than 15 minutes, being able to generate a week's worth of content. Um, so Katrina texted me this morning. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I use you as my demo girl? So we're gonna get a live demo. I was thinking of just walking through the skill that I created and show you something from me, but I thought when she texted in, it'd be more impressive if I did it with someone who's not like in my system already, so that you can see how quickly this can come about. And then ultimately, because there is a little tech involved, and I want to try to keep this as simple as possible, but it can get confusing, and a lot of us aren't marketers by background. So there's that invitation to continue. I've got a session where we can deep dive into ironing all of this out for you. Um, but here's the thing is if you take the time initially to up level the kind of information that you're sharing with your AI so that it's as on point as possible. It's kind of like that metaphor when the plane takes off, and if it's just 1 degree away, the farther you go, the farther off base you're going to be. So we want to make sure that when we start, we're aiming at the right direction. What I see all too often is people are, we try AI and you start getting kind of mediocre results, it's because you haven't gone in and done some of this initial work. Um, so if you're getting 70% of the way there, having it reflect back your voice and being on target for who you are and the work that you do, if you're 70% of the way there and having to rewrite or nuance 30% of it, that becomes not just a revision, that's like a whole nother job to do on your list. What I like to do is get people dialed in so that what they're creating, that first take is 90 to 95% of the way there. So then you're only putting that final nuance, that final essence, or maybe a story that popped up this morning that is going to be even more impactful. But taking that and starting with things that are so on target that we're not spending time in revisions. So this is the key, is that the better your AI understands your voice, your values, your audience, and your philosophy, the less time you need to spend rewriting. So we want to make sure that we don't skip any of these steps. Again, I see people diving in and saying, hey, write me 5 posts for this week. It's like, well, your AI probably doesn't really know the real you. So this is my 3A framework or method, if you want to call it. The first is really, really, really spend some time. And I wanted to show you, oh, Miss Susan Winter. Sorry about that. Left her sitting in the waiting room. I wanted to show you because I sent out the email this morning with the, uh-oh, got too many layers here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to my, just this morning I sent out the email with the handout for today with the prompts that are gonna get you there. Um, uh-oh, well, maybe we can do it another way. Build your Claude Brain handout. We'll do it this way. Um, so I didn't want you to have it in advance because I didn't want people to get distracted with what this is, but I wanted to show you what's in here. And this is not the right one. Build your brain. Whoops, wrong one. That was last month's, and I put in there the relevant. Here we go. Nope, the handout. Okay. Um, in this handout that you've got access to, and I will again send it out with the replay as well. But just a reminder of the steps that we want to take, making sure that we're anchoring in your voice, your values, your point of view. I also call it the Claude Brain. We want to download all the smarts, all the genius work, all the perspectives, all the sass, the personality, the uniqueness of you into the AI so that when it gives you the output, it's reflecting what you're up to. But then secondly, we want to align with the right people. We want to make sure that we're understanding the clients that we do our best work with. Who are your soul aligned people that you're just meant to work with, and then deeply understand them. We want to go beyond the demographics and really understand what I call the psychographics. What are their deepest pain points? But what's beneath that pain point that's really the true block of having them keep moving forward and maybe even forward with working with you. And then the next is once we've got those two blocks, only then do we go to using AI to amplify the message. So I'm going to show you a little bit of each, and in this handout is some gold. So as I say, the world truly needs magic that only you can bring. So I want to make sure that we're getting you out there, getting you visible, but you know, moving to where the content creation isn't such a drain on your time and your energy. So this is the first prompt here is going to show you a little bit of what I was just addressing. What's the kind of information that your AI needs to know about the who of you? So you want to include things like your URL, your writing samples, favorite testimonials, because testimonials are really cool because that begins to teach your AI in the words of the people that you've had the best outcomes with. What are the kinds of words are they talking about? If you're in, health, they might come in thinking that they need weight loss, but they might find a whole new sense of self. So maybe that's the messaging that's been missing up until now is helping them to understand that sense of self that they've been missing. And here's like you're sitting on all kinds of messaging gold. What are some of the transcripts that you might have around of you speaking? Have you done webinars or interviews or been on a podcast? Have you done videos? Have you written things? Maybe you've got a book chapter. Those kinds of things. You can't overwhelm AI anymore, which is just phenomenal. The amount of information that it can take, that it can process. It's a pattern recognition machine. So when you feed all this information in, it's beginning to understand the unique pattern of you. So most importantly, then we want to make sure that we're distinguishing ourselves from others in the field that do what it is that you do. So again, I'm going to keep calling on Sue because she's in the top of my list here. But as a relationship coach, there's others who do what she does. She's drawn to work with people at a certain stage of their relationship. Should I stay? Should I go? Or what's that stage right after they decide to go? What is that? That's getting clear. We've heard the saying, the riches are in the niches. That's where we want to get to. Where do you do your most genius work? And then identify that for your AI. So here's part of what you want to do. Here's what I am. You feed it all that information. What do you stand for? We're stepping into our thought leadership. What's the change you believe the world needs in order to have better relationships, more compassion, more healing, whatever the case may be? And then I love this kind of a prompt. Interview me about, and here are some things that it should talk to you about. What's your own personal transformational story? What brought you in the first place called to do the work that you do? What's your genius? What do you stand for? Who do you serve most? How do I sound? How do I communicate? Um, all those things. And it will begin to interview you one question at a time until it knows you. So this is that very first block that I see so many people move beyond. Take, even if you were to spend 30 minutes one day, have lunch with your AI and go into this kind of conversation. This alone will level up the kind of output that you are getting from your AI. The second thing we're going to do um, is create the Claude skill. I am, for now, just going to show you what's on here. After we're done today, if you just highlight this, and that's why I shared it as a Word document, because you can literally just copy and paste this right into your AI and have a conversation with it to set up your own Claude skill. It's going to do really great refinement for you. And I'll show you some of the things as we go through the demonstration, some of the things that I've baked into this. And then ultimately, as part of the Claude infrastructure, their ecosystem, you want to save it in what they call a project. And I'll show you this in just a minute when we do the demo. But a project is basically like a folder of all the things related to if you've got content creation, or you've got a certain client you're working with, or you've got a project. I'm writing a book, so I've got one for my book. All of these are folders that are kind of content specific so that it remembers who you are, what you've been working on, how far you've gotten to date, and that kind of a thing. So I just wanted to let you know that you've got the gold right there already emailed to you. Now let's see if I can find oh my goodness. Note to self, close my extra. Does anybody have any questions before I dive into this next piece? I want to see if Miss Susan Winter is here. All right. Put my window aside then. All right, so here we are. I'm back to full screen. Um, and again, I just wanted to cover a little bit of the lingo that Claude has because it works slightly differently. Last month's webinar was on creating the Claude Brain. That's what that first prompt is, essentially telling your AI who you are, what you stand for, the genius work. The project is the folder that I was talking about. This is where you're going to store your files. So you might give it some background like once we create the skill, it would go in there. You might have some other core items in there. I'll show you my folder here in a second. And then the skill is what we're talking about today. This is teaching Claude what to do with the information that you give it. How do you express it? So it's not just create five posts. It's like, well, here's my one idea. How is it that Kathy expresses, and what do my specific clients need to hear in order to move forward and understanding how to get beyond the idea or the block or whatever. And then ultimately, next month we'll be doing another one for AI agents. And this is crazy good where you connect your Claude externally to other programs so it actually does the work. And that's where Claude again has leapfrogged ChatGPT because now it can almost become like you've probably heard people talking about AI employees or building your team. That's what they're talking about there. But to me, I always want to start. It's the human factor. We're working with people. They need to understand your heart, your energy. And so this is the kind of content creation we need to get to. This is marketing psychology of how to move somebody from we just met you to now I want to work with you kind of a thing. So we want to have a diversity of the kinds of content. Each one serves a different purpose. The first is connection. And that we do that as humans through sharing story. Story can be personal stories or client stories or a story about how you came to think something that you thought, but it's connection from one human to the next. The second is building your authority. Why should they listen to you? They are full of doubt. We've got a trust, deficit in our economy right now. So how they've tried things before and failed, or maybe they've been promised things by other people, other coaches, other healers that they've worked with that didn't quite work out. How is it that you can demonstrate authority so you can build that trust? And then reframes. We want to shift a belief. They are stuck where they're stuck because of the beliefs. There's something that they're not willing to put credence in that needs to have more weight. Are there myths that are out there in society that need to be overcome? Engage. We want to spark conversation and ask questions and just invite them to comment or request. You see a lot of people doing the request a handout kind of a thing, DM below, comment, foot joy below, whatever. And then lastly, we want to sell the heart-centered offer. It's interesting because I think a lot of us as coaches and healers love the serving, but the selling part can have a little distaste about it. So we love the work that we do, but we hate to think that we're selling. But honestly, if we're leaving people in their pain, then truly we're not doing them a service. So moving right along. Let's see. All right. So with that, I am going to go stop this and hop over to the demo. Wow, you guys are getting a great look at my desktop. There's, I've got, oh, the meeting chat was hanging out right in front of my thing. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Claude. And Katrina, do you want to come up and unmute yourself because you're going to be our crash test dummy for the day.
All right. And remember, you have the GPT chat that you could also use that we worked on together.
That's exactly what I was going to say next.
Yeah.
So she texted me this morning. So Katrina and I had done a little bit of work, and I want to show you. Um, Here we go. I put this in here. We're on a webinar live, ready for our demo for the personal content generator. So here's Katrina Doro, and she is a reverent, and she does kind of a specific energy healing technique, Gestalt, which a lot of people, I mean, it's been around for a long time, but I'm sure a lot of people don't know what that is. And we get excited about our modality sometimes and want to talk about that, but we want to go further. So let me show you what a Claude Brain looks like. We're going to open what I created this morning, and I literally did this in 2 seconds. Um, Whoop. Oh my gosh, I can't read that. Um, Here we go. So I'm going to skip to this part. So this is what's in here. So chances are you've been working with your AI a little bit and you could ask it some of these questions, but this is after just one session with Katrina, this is what we got to. So here's who she is that, a lot of people when you are at a networking, you might mention some of these things. This is who she is, but the truth is, we are not our titles. Our identity is not wrapped around that. That's not what our gift is. So at the age of 8, so we've got her story infused in here. She knew that she was called to minister to others. She's got a gift of understanding people's pains beneath their words. Here's a list of her core beliefs. Look at all these things. People do not need fixing, they need remembering. Here's her true genius. Express what's been unexpressed, being aware of what's unconscious, how to reconnect with their divine nature. She's an amazing human. You might want to get her number. Um, this is some of the things. What makes her different? She doesn't do coaching. Many offer healing. She's beyond that. So here's some of the words that people used about her. Here's who she serves. Again, I'm not needing you guys to all see this. I just want you to get a sense of the kinds of information that your AI is going to be able to glean about you once you've had this kind of interview. What are they experiencing? So rather than talking about Gestalt, we want to talk about where the real pain point is of their people, the grief, loss, divorce, relationships. Here's some of the different ways she's been working with them. But beyond that condition, here's their deepest fear. Underneath that condition, they're afraid that they're always going to be stuck in that trap, that they're being judged as too much or too little or being unseen. Their deepest desires are that peace. Like the best testimonials are always have this theme of peace and clarity and the freedom, joy, connection. Here's the kinds of transformation she's helping people bring. Go beyond all those emotional things. Her brand essence. We went into voice. We went into rhythm, emotional experience. And I I don't mean this to overwhelm you. I just mean that this is the depth that really dials in how good your output's going to be. So here's distinguishing language, the kinds of words that she might use. Like maybe she doesn't use the word, I don't know, consciousness or some people don't use the word God or whatever your thing is, you can put in all your pet peeves about the AI words that are used. And then we've got certain taglines and things like that. So anyways, enough about her. So I'm going to go back to Claude up here. And this is all I had to do. We've got that Claude Brain document, if you will. That's going to be your skill that you're creating that has that depth of knowledge. And then I'm just going to have it read it. And I said, just tell us ready, Freddie, when you're ready for the next one. Right, Fred? Um,
Ooh.
Got the skill loaded and I can see it's built with care. All right. Yeah, so it's gonna ask clarifying questions. Oh my gosh. Um, I don't want to spend too much time on this. What, Katrina, what kind of offer are you leading to? Would it be a good discovery call?
Yes. So there's a discovery call, and then most of my clients want to work with me virtually um, through Zoom.
Okay. And we'll say email. Well, you can do Facebook.
Mhm.
Which ones do you do? Do you do IG also? Are you on
Uh,
LinkedIn?
so Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm sorry, Facebook and Insta.
Okay. Specific phrasing. The Monday, this contact article published. Okay. We will start on 6. I don't know what Monday is. Is it the 30th? No, what's today? Yeah, it can be about, I'll go with the 29th. Um, all right. And the first idea is this. Using the personal content engine. Our first idea is this. Why Gestalt therapy might work even better for you remotely. I came up with that one myself. And so here's the thing. I picked that because it might be she loves doing the work remotely, but a lot of people don't quite understand how it can work like that. Um, and again, here it's asking for some clarifying questions. Beautiful. This is the drum roll part because this could have all happened like instantaneously. This is a great point is that once you've set this up the first time, it's just automatically going to run it. Right now, because I haven't done it run it through with you, it's asking some clarifying questions. So beautiful. We've got everything we need. We're on a roll. Source idea, da da da, published date. Okay. The resonant core. Before writing a single word, I'm pulling out the engine underneath this idea. The truth at the center, contrarian angle, emotional charge, ICP, ideal client anchor. That's our spine. Everything downstream comes back to that. Okay, cool. So here's a beautiful email that it's written. Here comes Fred back. I used to think Gestalt therapy needed four walls and a couch to work, a quiet office, two chairs facing each other, nothing else in the frame. Turns out I had it backwards. Here's what I didn't expect. When a client logs in from their actual kitchen, dishes in the sink, dogs barking in the next room, real life happening in the background, something shifts. Gestalt therapy has always been about what's happening right now in the body in the moment.
Recording in progress.
Is, isn't this all right, somebody's got a little squeaking going. I'm gonna mute you. Fred. Okay. Yeah, but do you feel the resonance of that? Like this is deep and what it's done. So, with what I'm sharing with you, it's going to when in the prompt when you create your own skills thing, because it's in there programmed with my CARES framework, it's going to get to this level of emotional resonance. Does that make sense? Because people buy based on emotion and then they justify with logic. So what this has done here is created a visual image so people can see themselves. Yeah, that's how I think counseling of any sort happens. We're in an office sitting face to face with all of this. And so this goes on. That's the gem. Presence isn't about proximity, it's about permission. And so this is opening their eyes to how they might want to consider doing a remote session for the first time. And you might want to create a special discount for if you've never done a remote session. Here's a gift card for $50 towards your first session, you know? So that's something that it came up with as the email completely written. I think that's gorgeous. That's using my voice a little bit and then with your brain. And then it's given us some ideas about what the visual recommendation might be. A lived-in space, a laptop on with a someone sitting with a kitchen table, their cozy chair. And you can put this right into, it's giving saying Canva, but you can put this into ChatGPT too, and use a warm phone photo of a relaxed home, a video call. It's saying real photo over AI generated, but honestly, it's getting better and better. Um, it didn't do the post quite yet because it wanted something before writing. Here's what I'm pulling out. Oh, let me just ask. What I thought. I have everything I need. All right, for the five posts, I'll keep the same resonant core for the calendar. Okay, go ahead. Want me to go ahead? Yeah. So one of the things I love for it to do is to create a content calendar for me, and I like to have it set it up in tables, and you can just tell it, I want a table, and I want, for me, I like the day, the date, the description of what the post is going to be, what format it goes on. That way, it gives me a visual that I can hang next to my computer that I know day to day what's happening. So I'm not gonna. Well, I guess I'll read through one of these just so we get the sense. I want you guys to feel how good this can be. I had a client log into our session last week with a toddler napping on her chest. This is really cool. They apologized. Sorry, I almost canceled. I told them not to. That sleeping kid. that quiet kitchen, that exact moment they were in. That was the session, not a distraction from it. I used to believe presence meant a quiet office and an undivided attention. I've changed my mind. Presence means showing up as you actually are. Gestalt therapy has always been about what's true right now. So, what does showing up as you actually are look like for you these days? And, that's really good. And then you can go back and we go back and refine. Is there a different aspect? Is there a different, some words that she want to do? But now the refinement is like icing on the cake. It's not going back and structurally having to redo things, but it's given us actual descriptions of things that you can drop into Canva or to into ChatGPT. So here you can see how it's created. So the cares one. So here's a post about connection. Here's one about authority. After years of doing this work, she's been doing it for decades in one form or another. And then you can again go back and refine and say maybe this you've just inspired me to do this, $50 off offer for people who've never experienced remote works. You could have it blend that in. But here's the 5 different posts all done, guys. And they're good. And then here's our table, publishing schedule. Here's Monday, you're going to send an email. Monday, you're also going to, from that same email, that same kind of message, here's your cares formula right in there. And then this is where I am needing to stretch into doing video. I got the talking part down, but do I do it? Um, yeah, so it can have you write the video script for you as well. Um, yeah, should have done the video as well. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So here comes your video. There's your homework, Katrina. Want to see that by the weekend? And again, it's even giving you ideas if you were really going to produce this thing. It's giving you ideas of what kind of B-roll you might want to incorporate into it and how to use the captions and all of that. Um, Clearly, uh, some of us are probably just going to be start by speaking to the camera, but the script is going to be really on point with what we just did. So, all right, I'm gonna stop my share for just a second so I can look at your pretty faces. Anybody got questions or ahas or inspired or confused? Where is everybody landing now? Feel free to unmute yourself and chime in. And if you don't, I'll start picking on people.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What's the difference between Claude AI and ChatGPT? Is there a big difference?
So the evolution, ChatGPT kind of was the first on the scene. And so they're both evolving in their own directions, if you will. So I started out with ChatGPT and still use it extensively. Now I'm actually kind of using both of them. But what happened in just the last few months is that Claude let's see. Claude has probably been always a step better in writing more human-like copy off the bat. I work with my ChatGPT and I've got the marketing experience and I share prompts so that people get really good outputs from ChatGPT. But now Claude has leapfrogged and it can do graphics. Like it created all my slides for me. I did not design any of that. It can just what it can do, it can create landing pages and visuals and things of that nature. And then what's coming up is you'll hear people talking about co-work and Claude Code. So those are things, capabilities that you'll be able to begin to lean into when you're ready for that. But I can tell you that all of the thought leaders that I follow and the experts in AI are all using Claude for content. So,
I think
so
the
lean
question
into it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I
Gail.
had is I've been working with ChatGPT and has a lot of history on me and my business. Is there a way to take the info from Chat and put it into
And
Claude?
that's exactly what I did with Katrina this morning because I had done my session on ChatGPT months ago and still had it. So I just had it. So I just put in there, hey, can you give me everything that the Claude Brain would want to know? about, so we can create some really great marketing. And it gave me the full download. That's all you need to do.
So where did you ask that question?
Just in ChatGPT.
In ChatGPT. Say that again then.
So I went, you just basically talk to it like you're telling me, hey, how do I get all my information out of you? Because I want to put it over in
Put it
Claude.
into Claude. Okay.
Yeah, but tell it, you want to always give it context, regardless of what kind of prompt you're saying. So in that case, you want to say, my intention is that any of the marketing insight that you might have gleaned from our previous conversations, that's the stuff I want to bring over.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Sue.
Hey, um, so Kathy, I'm a little confused about the brain and the skill. I mean, do I create a project called Claude Brain and
That's an
projects
excellent question.
called
And let me
Skill?
answer that by showing you the layout of my Claude. So over here is a project.
Okay,
And in here are, and I really don't have that many, and just ignore that one.
okay,
That was my that was my brain webinar. I should have named that better so I didn't confuse
okay,
you people, but this is for me. So
okay,
I've got one, and it doesn't matter what you call it, but mine's under brand and uh, messaging. And so you can go
okay,
in here. I called my brain document. I'm just using that name. That's not necessarily an official uh,
okay,
name, but um, it. I spent a lot of time in refining my master voice. This
okay,
isn't a good example. Let me only because you can put so much stuff in there. You can give it a master reference document and it'll have all kinds of things, which mine does. Mine's all in one in there. That's why there's only one document in there. But let me show you, like I'm working on my book. Here it is, The Midlife
okay,
Fun Diet. And so I've got all kinds of stuff in here. So you can upload all kinds of files that it will reference.
okay,
So just this morning, I was talking with someone who was frustrated because she says, yeah, every time I talk to Claude, it forgets who I am or what we just talked about. And I would say that's true until you do this. And
okay,
that's why I call it its brain. It's like you're triggering it to go back and reference. Here's the main thing about you.
okay,
So in this case, I put in a couple past talks that I had done. So they're
okay,
45 minutes worth of gold about that show it the kind of words that I use. And that's what I did first, is I wanted it to get clear on what my unique perspective is about,
okay,
in this case, that subject. I give it some visuals. I give it a previous version of the book. There's the
okay,
cover. So the brain becomes a document that you
got
upload.
it.
And then the project is the folder. That's the physical, the digital place that it lives. Like
Okay,
so I'm going to be doing monthly webinars. So here's another one. I wonder what's in here. So from what I just did to get live today, I'm going to take
mhm,
all of that and put it into a process. So we have a standard operating procedure, which is what this is. And then anytime you've got something new, like say I'm working on, okay, so back to the book. If I need to write a description for my book in like the Amazon description or something, maybe a talk, you go in here and this is where your chat window is. You would just type in there, hey, I'm speaking on this podcast. Give me the intro that
okay,
the bio somebody would do.
okay,
And here's some previous conversations that I did that. I came up with the timeline and strategy there.
okay.
Copy. The files and the memory and the instructions I can see on your screen. When I go to projects, I can't see it. Is that because I haven't paid for a version or?
No. Oh, do you not see projects?
I'm in my projects and then
Okay.
I go to the one I have in it. Oh, now it sees it. I couldn't see the files before, but now it's
Yeah,
when
it'll
I'm
be
in the
pretty empty until
project,
you
not in
create.
the actual chat. I have to be in the project. Okay,
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
sorry. I
Okay.
had to ask before it would show it to me, I guess.
Awesome, awesome. And so again, guys, I know that it can be a little techy or time consuming at the beginning. Shoot, that's what I wanted. And it went, when do I, um, oh my God. Note to self, close out these windows, girl. Uh, yeah. So again, I just want to reiterate that we always, always, always never take what it puts, comes out with, even as good as that email was of Katrina's. Don't take it verbatim and just drop it in there. Always nuance it, put it through this kind of question. Does it sound like me? Is this what I'm hearing people saying that they need right now? Is this landing like truth? Is it resonating with what's going on right now? But then ultimately, like I've got an offer to sit down with you, and there's a little pre-work. I'll give you this GPT that I created that's a content coach that'll walk you through getting to the depth, like you saw in Katrina's brain document, essentially. It'll get you that clear on who your ideal clients are. It'll include all the market research. We'll actually go a little bit deeper because I just stole that from the conversation she and I had done last time, but we want to go deep into market research of who else is doing the kinds of work that you're doing. Why would somebody choose you? And get clear, feed it the information like what your offers are. We can look at your offers and make sure that the ascension ladder is happening at the right pace. But so you'll have a little, you know, a bit of homework to do, and then we sit down for 60 minutes and just get to the richness of all that. It's so good. It's so good. You'll see a real transformation in the level of the output that you're getting. And then you'll have access to me for 7 days to for questions, or I'll check in on you and see how things are going. If you want to run things by me, always happy to do that. And then the thing is, once you build this, guys, it's done. And can you imagine how quickly that's going to shift everything? I saw a statistic that people are spending at least 5 hours a week on content creation. So if you could dial it up and get that much closer to having something that's done, instead of spending an entire afternoon creating a single post, if you just did your 5 posts just as quickly as you saw here, you'd never have to worry about sitting and having that blank stare at the screen, wondering what the heck you were supposed to say. Like, what do people want to hear from me? And go through that whole doubt, self question thing. We can brainstorm, and you could have dozens of ideas and have your content basically ready to roll for for months. But it's an engine that you will have and use month in and month out. Um, but think about the cumulative effect again. If it saves you 2 hours a week, that's 100 hours, over 100 hours a year. What would you do with that time? Would you spend more time with clients or more time, you know, um, I think all too often there's a lot going on in the world. We need more time to stay centered ourselves. Would you go for more learnings or retreats to help you center on your own personal growth? But ultimately, we want to attract more clients, get more visibility, have more revenue, have the freedom, have the impact that you've been wanting, and be more visible. Like what, just the service of you being visible with your message out into the world. I think a lot of us want to help the world. We want to help everyone. You just putting out your best content is really going to speak to the heart of the people that you're here to serve. People who may never work with you. What if you could serve those people even? What happens when your audience, regularly hears your voice and learns from your insights and doesn't, yeah. So, yeah, so a lot of us, one client, if you just got one more client because you've got the kind of content that's leading them in that wise progression through the client journey of like, hey, I just met Katrina, this sounds kind of cool. What that stuff sounds kind of weird. I'm not going to take advantage now, but now you've heard the adage that it used to take, 7 to 10 touch points, and now it's easily double that. You got to touch people time and time again. And that's another thing with the video, guys, is that if you can capture someone's attention, I heard it put another way. A coach that I was working with, she said it that people need to know you for about 4 hours until they have that personal connection enough to say yes. So if you can start leaning into video a little bit, you'll be able to garnish more of their time and attention. They'll get to know you more deeply and be able to move them towards that yes in a way that other things didn't. So, but what if you put this into play? This could be so fun. So the investment, it's $397 for this, the pre-work. You'll get your Claude Brain done. I'll review it. We'll make sure that it's deep and resonant with who you are. That's why they call me the AI whisperer. I've got that energy side of me also, where I can tell when things are really aligned with what your soul is here to express. And then we take it to the tech side so that you don't have to worry about the difference between brains and projects and yeah, all the widgets and whatnots. We'll be able to upload other skills that are important for you. I'll understand a little bit more, and then you'll have that system that just is plug and play that you'll use over and over again. But yeah, a personal content engine driving your content every week. I say yes. So, anyways. So it's my good pleasure to share this with you. Oh, and you guys, I'm as much as I love tech, I'm low tech. I'm not into building the sign up here pages. If you want to take advantage of the offer, just email me or text me. I'll give you my number, 720-217-5692. I'll drop it in the chat. A lot of you, some of you already know me from other places where you have my number, but with that, yeah. Let me know. Any questions? All right. Okay. I'll drop my number in the chat if I can find my chat. Oh, it's down here. Goodness, the woman with many windows. But ultimately, guys, why don't you shine in your light? The world needs the magic that only you can bring. So take the time, get clear on your message, devote, set the intention that this is important and the world needs the magic that only you can bring. Get clear, take the time to get it out there and serve. So with that, right. Sue, I'm not hearing you.
No, I was just going to say, Kathy, I sent you a text
Okay.
and I look forward to doing this with you again.
Yeah. And the cool
Uh,
thing, it always builds upon itself. So we'll take from where you went and just be able to leapfrog and just make it easy, right? We just
right.
want
Well,
easy.
and some of the things I want to do now are more complex than um, you got me through a year of posts with chat, and that was extremely positive. So um, I'm looking forward to this as well.
Yeah. And you're evolving. I know that I see the good work that you're doing in the world. So
Thanks.
let's make
Thanks.
sure that it's showing your very best self
Thanks.
now. Who are you now?
Yeah,
And
right. Who am I now? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
We're all growing and evolving. So very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
See you
look forward
soon.
to it.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Have a good day, guys, and feel free to reach out if you've ever got questions. Clearly, this is my passion, so I could talk about this all day long. Um, thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing the good work that you do in the world, and just know we're blessed. Bye bye.